Are you ready for Combat Night?
Fuck up, that mean it ain't the right time. But right now, nigga, this is all mine. I'm tired of the haters, the bullshit and the layers. And right now, I'ma call you back later. Now you late and I got all this paper. If you ain't believe it, don't talk to me. If you was too blind to see it, don't touch me. If you only down with me up, you don't rock with me. Don't need none of y'all got a whole lot of haters and whole lot of fakers. Running their games, but no, they'll never shade. When you number one, people gon' be two-faced.
Let's go! Let's go, Edgar!
Is that what we doing?
What y'all waiting in line for?
All right, face that way.
It's all love, the memes. Yeah, that's all good.
Face that way. Today's opposite day, guys. All right, fellas.
Grind them all, bro. I never had a face all like that before.
First time for everything, right?
Yeah, right.
All right.
Oh, it's a fucking thing. It's that fucking thing. Oh, yeah.
All right, face that way, guys. Did you say he had pretty eyes? Did you say he had pretty eyes?
He needs some milk.
He needs some milk. Yeah, I love milk.
I mean sweat, but he underweight. So I might get it. I'll give you $200 if you take the fight.
I just want your arm. I don't want your money.
I mean, let's do it then.
So start cutting, bro. You have
No, it's you gangster. Let's take a fight now.
I'm gangster enough.
Okay.
I showed up.
I showed up. I was here 1 p.m. You showed up 3 p.m.
Dog.
Let's fight.
But I showed up on time.
No, you showed up
weight.
3.
Yeah.
No, you won
Okay,
97.
I missed time, but you missed weight. What one's more important? And I get it. Both are important, but
No,
we're fighting.
if you're gangster, let's fight tomorrow.
Bro, I'm gangster as it is.
No, you're not.
Okay. Ain't one fight I ain't show up for.
But you,
I'll wait.
but you show underweight.
So what, bro? I showed up for every fight. Bro, I'm
Hey,
being
be quiet,
cool
little
about
girl.
Got it waiting for you. Got it waiting for you. For this ass whooping you got down.
Face that way, guys. What's that, a waiver?
Yeah.
What was waiver for?
For this ass whooping he about to get.
Okay.
Hey, let's go!
Judge number 1 scores it 30-27 blue. Judge number 2 scores it 30-27 red.
Who's judging tonight? What is
Judge number 3 scores it 29-28 for your winner out of the blue.
С одной головы соседи на весь пух и прах. Все с одного ребра и одна сатана. А в глаза бела пелена, до сорта пена бела брызжет, кипит буйно голова. Да моя яма
Get that far side arm under that hand. Get you the telephone. Hey, stop.
I'm on a different level, baby.
What's this for? I'm here. Promote him now. They threw in the towel.
Where they getting all these towels from? Where they getting all these towels?
All right, what's up, everybody? We are fresh off of a fantastic Combat Night Pro Duval show, and I'm going to throw the other guys here in the chat. I got Miles Black Santa Amos. I got Coach Ben Stark joining us.
That's really good.
And I also have the CEO, Mitchell Chamale, obviously out and about in his cyber truck.
Nah, I'm slumming it, man. I'm slumming it in the F-150 tonight.
Oh, no.
I know, bro. It's hard out here for a pimp.
So little highlight reel just played from some of the action from last night, and man, that was an incredible night of fights that we had. That last one with Stone Cold, I didn't realize she was saying, where are they getting all these towels from? That was a fun moment. So let's just I'll say welcome to you guys. I hope everybody, I see everybody made it home safely.
Almost.
Oh, you not home yet?
Nah, bro. I'm in the F-150 driving home with a trailer.
Oh, snap.
I went and hung out with Corey Taylor. Probably the first fight we'll talk about. Family friend of mine. I hung out with him for the day pretty much. Had a good time. Went and had some breakfast, all that good stuff. So
nice. I see one of the men of the evening jumped in the chat. No smoke, Tyler Stout. What up, man?
Shush. He might be the man of the evening. If it hadn't been for that spinning elbow, he would have definitely had the KO of the night. That was, I mean, there was
crazy.
A couple nasty knockouts last night.
Yeah, for sure. So,
you want to start at the top of the card?
Yeah, for sure. We'll start with the Florida Man belt, Bjorn Thorne versus Corey Taylor. That was at 155, like I said, for the Florida Man belt. And man, Bjorn came out thumping and put on a show.
Yeah, afterwards I talked to his dad. He came up to me. He was like, first, his dad was like, Black Santa, my dad really wants to meet you. I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, man. I was telling my son, man, he, after the last fight, when he fought Cham, he was like, man, this next fight, man, you got to come out and show them who you are. You got to come out and swing. And then he's like, I told my son to come out and swing, and that's what he did. And that's, man, like when your dad tell you, it's one thing like when your teammates or something like that. But I remember like in high school wrestling one time, my mom was like, "You just gonna let them take them down like that? Don't you have to like take them down?" I was like, "Real much?" And then I went out there and boom. So when your own dad is like, "Hey, that last fight didn't go your way, man. You were being too hesitant or too safe. This next fight you need to come out and show them and bounce back." And that's exactly what Thorne did.
Yeah, it was a beautiful performance. His dad actually found me after too. Said he was a big fan. It was actually cool talking to his dad. His dad was showing us mad love. He said he watches MMA all day. He said that's all he does is watch MMA. I think it was like some MMA channel that's on the Roku TVs and stuff. And he said, man, I tell you what, no regional show holds a candle to you guys. He named Fight Pass shows, and he was just he was bigging us up, man. It was really cool to see what a big fan that Theron's dad was of the promotion, and appreciative for the platform to give his son. And you know, his son did not waste that platform last night. He put on a show.
Dude, 100%. Thorn, as Miles was saying, and Sham were in the same warm-up area, sharing the same mats. Very cool to see athletes that were competitors just a few months ago being so friendly and cordial with one another. But Thorn's dad grabbed me and he goes, hey, man, we learned a lot from that fight with Sham. And let me tell you, tonight you're going to see a completely different fighter. He's like, we are not coming to grapple. We are here to bang on people. And, man, Thorn was ready. He saw an opportunity. He took it. He cracked Corey, dropped him. Corey did his best to recover, and Thorn was on him. No space, no room to breathe, just brutal pressure.
And shout out Julio Cesar Chavez in the chat saying we the best show in the world. He's not wrong.
Oh, you already know.
And yeah. The co-main event. You know what? We're gonna let you start with this. Ben Stark, Sham Delva versus Devin Paul.
So, you guys don't know this, but Sham actually spent the entire day in the hospital. Around 3:30 in the morning, he woke up with severe kidney pain, like tender to the touch, painful to actually any contact was brutal. He didn't want to go in. We made him. He went in. They said it was like severe dehydration from the cut. I know he missed weight by 2 pounds. He was sending me videos. He was running in the out really hot, and he was dead dry.
Cutting in and out a little bit. You're cutting in and out a little bit, Ben.
Sorry. I apologize. My headphone case opened when it fell off the table. But you know, the doctors we gave him another bag of IV, get his fluids up, and they're like, we're kind of 50-50 on it, but if you're feeling it, take it. And Sham was not to be deterred. You know, I know he didn't have the performance he wanted, but he had a really good first and second round. He said he took a really nasty body shot in the third, and that's what kind of messed him up. But, you know, he did what he had to do to make it through.
Santa?
No, I would say he definitely, and I remember back in the day, even Sham and I used to fight on some cards as amateurs. So I was just going to talk about just how, you know, we mentioned it time and time again about, you know, just the organization and the platform that Combat Night has been able to, you know, provide for fighters like, you know, guys like Sham and myself who came, you know, on the regional circuit, fought for other amateur promotions, but then also to Combat Night, you know, as well. And it's just, you know, when you see the maturity and just see the maturation of fighters from amateur, you know, to pros, to just a guy like, you know, Sham to be able to, and I didn't even know that till Ben, you know, had told me after the night, you know, having to spend the morning in the hospital, then to come out there and still, you know, when. You know,
No. He was at the hospital until 5 p.m.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so still to come out there and put on a performance like that, man, that just speaks to how much of a dog, you know, Sham is. But I'm pretty sure now the next question, being his coach, you know, we talked about the main event. Sham and Thorn, man, what's up with that? I know him and his dad were like, you know, we're gonna get that one back. We're gonna get that one back.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the table as far as I understand. But number one for me, we got to figure out what's going on with his kidneys, because he was feeling that all yesterday, even after the fight. This morning we were hanging out. I want to make sure that he's healthy before we can commit to anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Sham's had two rough weight cuts in a row too.
Yeah, I mean, he's no spring chicken, man. He's 35 now.
Yeah, we had a good conversation after his fight, and You know, what worked 5 years ago doesn't work today, obviously. So we had that conversation. I think Sham's got to definitely go back to the drawing board a little bit. Again, like Ben said, check out his kidney, make sure that's good. But impressive, you know, it's always, you never want to hear about the guy having the issues before the fight whenever they lose, because it's like, oh, he's making excuses. But whenever you hear about him after the fight, it's like, oh man, he fought through some real adversity. And I'm happy to see that Sham was able to show up and still get the win, even with all the adversity he was fighting through.
Yeah, he was facing a dangerous opponent in Devin Paul, coming off a knockout win, and really got the job done. Neutralized that space and managed the whole fight. It was a good performance, and I didn't know about that adversity he was facing either. So really showing the heart of a warrior.
It was just us. We kept it as hush as we could, because I know if I reached out to you guys and was like, "Yo, Sham's in the hospital," there'd be, you know, wow, what's going? Like, it would cause a stir when it wasn't guaranteed. You know, as long as there was a chance he was still fighting, we wanted to just let it be so as to not interrupt the flow of the show day with, you know, maybes.
All right. The fight before that was a welterweight bout between Daniel Morrison and Jeremiah McDougal. Jeremiah came in undefeated, 9-0, and Daniel Morrison 5-2. And this fight had implications all over it. And Mitchell, why don't you start with this one?
Man, I really think this was the fight of the night for me. The performance that these guys put on was just next level. I think you could have seen this on a UFC fight night. You know, happy that we got to see it here live in Jacksonville. I thought it was a very closely contested fight. I thought Jeremiah won round 1. I thought Morrison won round 2. Or I thought round 2 was kind of a close back and forth fight, and round 3 was all Morrison in my opinion. But you know, the level of these guys striking and feints and level changes and all the things they were doing. You know, the high guards, the moving with the shots, the fire and back. It was very impressive, and Daniel Morrison's game plan was just, it was spot on. He really did do a great job game planning for Jeremiah. And yeah, I think we saw the total package, and I really do, man. I think both these guys are going to be in the UFC one day, and we're going to look back at this fight and be like, damn, can we believe we had 2 UFC fighters fighting each other?
Yeah, man. I don't know how McDougal wasn't already on one of these major shows. The man's 10-0 stepping in there, you know, which crazy for Morrison. You know, Morrison's 5-2, and he sees a man with double his experience, undefeated, and his only answer is yes.
Yeah.
What do you think, Miles?
Yeah, I was took the words right on when I was looking at the card preparing for this and see, all right, which fight, this fight was good, this fight was good, you know. But this fight here, when it comes to both fighters, I don't know a fight on the card where both of the fighters had evenly, you know, matched skill and talent, and just like, you know, this is what, when it comes to, when we say fight of the night, I think fight of the night is when both fighters equally put in just as much of hard work and for performance. Yeah, you have a knockout of the night like we saw, you know, the spinning elbow or the Tyler Stott, you know, that was the knockout of the night. But as far as like, you know, an evenly matched fight, both of these guys, man, they just, you know, left it all out there. And I think in the third round, that's definitely when, like Mitch was saying, you know, the first round, Jeremiah, the second round, could go either way, but I gave the edge there to Morrison. In the third round, I don't know what his corner said to him, but that's when you just saw this. He put his foot on the gas there a little bit. He definitely stepped it up, you know, secured the takedowns. And that was, to me, that was going to be the difference maker, especially when, you know, both of these guys here, you know, striking savants, especially, you know, considering that both of them, and I like, you know, with education background, both of these guys help out the young kids, you know, and their gyms. So you see, you know, these 2 striking coaches going back and forth, and then whoever took it down to the ground, which was Daniel, I felt like that would have been the individual who's going to come away with a W.
Yeah, I think in that third and final round, both of the guys tried to like step on the gas. Jeremiah tried to come out hot, like with a sense of urgency, and Morrison just did a fantastic job of taking control of it and just, you know, establishing himself as like winning that round clearly. So incredible fight, and we love it whenever we have fights like that have those type of implications. High level guys looking to you know, make a mark and take it to the next level, and both of those guys put on a great performance. And so I heard Jeremiah saying afterwards, you know, he wasn't like in any type of doldrums. You know, that's his first loss as a pro, and you never know how a guy's going to react to that. And he seemed to still really be in high spirits, and
he was in surprisingly good spirits.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, Jeremiah is a class act, and like he is the most humble athlete we have on our whole roster. He is the nicest guy we have on our whole roster. If you went and had a conversation with him, you wouldn't believe he was an MMA fighter. You just wouldn't believe it. You know, that guy used to weigh 300 plus pounds. He has completely transformed his body. He's fought at every weight class on the way down: super heavy, heavy, light heavy, middleweight, now welterweight, class act. And then Morrison, the same thing, it's completely class act. Like, you know, for these guys to fight the way they fought and then just handle it with the grace they did, man, it's just, you know, they're going to both make it. The skill and the attitude.
Yeah, and you know, that professionalism. Like, I want to say something that Daniel Morrison was the first person to turn in his information sheet, and you know that gets a gold star from me. So that type of, you know, like Mitchell said many times before, we want to work with the guys that are easy to work with and good to work with, and all of those different steps of professionalism, having your paperwork together and submitting the things that are necessary. That no problems with those guys and a number of other guys, but specifically I got to shout out Daniel Morrison for being number one on submitting his information sheet.
I appreciate that.
I do.
It surprises me how many times when I'm looking through the sheets, there's people are just blank. It's like, bro, we're talking about you. We're trying to promote you. You don't want to talk about you? What are you doing?
Right. So the fight before that, Gabriella Golfin versus Stephanie Stone Cold Calderon, and holy smokes, did she put on another Stone Cold performance. Miles, go.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Every time Stephanie Stone Cold Calderon, you know, steps in there, it's pretty much now, it's like I mentioned during the post-fight interview, it's not a matter about, you know, how she's going to win. It's a matter about when. All right, what round is it going to be? Is it going to be the first, the second, you know, the first 10 seconds of the third round? That, to me, is just what, you know, if I was a betting man, okay, what, the first minute, last minute? Okay, is it going to be knockout, TKO? Is this person going to throw in the towel? Because at this point in time, we know that her striking is, you know, not only just her striking, just the way this, how she's strategic and how she moves around in it, but just the power. I've never seen any, you know, flyweight hit that hard, male or female.
Her hands are ferocious, and her game, she keeps it very, very simple, man. Everything was done behind a long jab, a step in, like stabbing jab, and then she either threw a really tight right straight or she arced it around the guard. She wasn't doing anything out of this world. She kept it real basic. She kept the distance in her favor. She was the longer fighter, and she was just landing dynamite shots consistently and at great pace. She was way too much for this way more experienced fighter.
Yeah, simple is what's gonna win. Right. Sometimes, you know, people can do all this, you know, 10 punch, 100, you know, punch combinations, you know, on the pads and all that stuff like that. But when it comes down, when you're in there in the cage, ain't nobody got time for all that. Just simple 1-2 hooks, nice, clean, you know, straight punches, and listen to your corner. She did a great job listening to her corner.
You know, this is the second time someone's thrown in the towel and they're fighting Stephanie 2 times in a row now. We've had corners stop fights in the middle of, you know, of a rest round because maybe they realized the ACL was messed up or their fighter wasn't there. But for the coach to not even wait for the, you know, for the round to end, they're like, no, this is over now, and throwing in the towel is just insane. Stephanie's got some dynamite in her hands, and the charisma, the personality, she's the full package. I see her. She keeps this up. You know, she defended some really deep takedowns. The girl Gabriella shot some nice takedowns, got in deep on Stone Cold, and she just kind of get off me. So I'm excited to see what's next for her. And I am curious, man, where are all these towels at? Where are they at?
They're in the buckets.
Yeah, in the comments, Aston Rick said if there's a YN belt, she would absolutely have it.
Bro, she thumps. She likes to get after it, man.
Yeah,
she's
one of those. She's one of those fighters that every punch they throw, you hear it thump.
Yeah,
and the crowd was reacting to it. If people saw the highlight reel at the beginning, it's like bump, oh, bump, ooh, just over and over and over. And her accuracy and her precision is just incredible. Like, I can't wait to see her compete again. And I think me and I can't remember if it was me and Angel or if it was me and Miles that were talking about it during the commentary that you know, there are other sharks out there. She's one of them, and that's who we're gonna have to see her run into.
Well, she just fought a girl that was she fought a girl that was 2-0 for her debut, and she fought a girl who had 10 professional fights, 5-5, 4-5, in her second fight. I dare to say she's already met some sharks.
Sure. That girl was she had 12 fights. She was 5-7. So
there you go.
Yeah, but she's gonna eventually she's gonna run into a version of herself, that alpha female, the 1%er. You know, that'll be a fun test. I hope it's not super soon. She's only had 2 pro fights.
Yeah.
Let her get a little more ring experience. Like, I like to start my fighters slow, but she's coming up hot, so she's diving right into it. She's picking really smart opponents for herself.
She ain't picking them. No, Ben. She's not picking opponents. That is not what Stephanie is doing. She is taking all comers. She sent us messages. I can show you messages. Line them up. I'll knock them down. We have not sent her a name. We have sent her about 15 to 20 names. She has said no to nobody.
That's awesome.
Let's not. Don't start. I just want to make sure that we don't say she's picking her opponents correctly, because that's not what Stone Cold is doing. And she's ready for June 21st in Tampa. She's said it again. Line them up. I'll knock them down. So she's not picking. She's taking.
That's awesome. That's great to hear.
So how many is she trying to fight? What, 4 times this year?
She'll be 5-0 come November. That's what she says. 5-0 come November.
Yeah, and I mean also too, you know, when it comes to, I didn't realize when I looked at the cards, I was like, Stephanie, she's closer to my age than she is to somebody, you know, than she is to Tim. Like, so she's definitely putting her foot, you know, on the gas here, and that's what you want to see. When you hit that over 30 mark, it's like 5-0, boom, and then you know, UFC on, you know, UFC fight night. Like,
yeah, she's got to.
Yeah, well, she has the right attitude for it, and she's got a heck of a start to her pro career. Next up at welterweight, we had Wesley Golden versus Julio Cesar Chavez. Mitch, you want to start that one?
Yeah, man. You know, Wesley's an OG with us. He's fought a lot of times. Julio was coming up to 170. Started on the feet. You know, Wesley's primarily a striker. He always wants to try to mix it up on the feet. And him and Julio didn't do a whole lot of that. I mean, Julio exchanged some shots with him and went for the takedown, landed it, and that was a wrap, man. Julio got his back. So funny because he got so many submissions on his record, and his name is Julio Strikes. But you know, Julio will take the fight wherever he can get it and wherever he can get the win. Another first round finish for Julio.
Gentlemen, thoughts?
No, yeah, absolutely. Especially with a guy like Julio, another, you know, individual on, you know, in their early 30s, I believe. So it's like, hey, if you're trying to get to the big show, man, I'm going to take whoever opponent you put in front of me. And then no matter what their record is, and especially when it's an opponent, you know, like he faced, hey, I need to finish. I can't just, you know, just get a dominant, you know, decision victory. When I go up against certain opponents, that's what the next level UFC, PFL, that's what they're looking for. Okay, yeah, you beat this guy, but how did you beat them and what kind of fashion?
All right. Just checking the comments too. A featherweight bout was before that. This one was a little bit quirky.
Yeah, the Tristan McGraw. Yeah, that's how I was going to ask about that one. Was it? He was like, I guess he thought that they were just going to only strike. Like, he thought it was just Muay Thai. I was like, no, it's MMA. It's all MMA fights. Like,
so it was a gentleman's agreement to strike. Which, in my opinion, whenever he went for the Muay Thai clinch, Tristan, it looked like Wingate just kind of failed to get out of it. Like, he didn't want to be in the Muay Thai clinch, and he was complaining, saying like what the hell? Like, that was we're supposed to be striking only. I think the Muay Thai clinch is striking only. But I'm not really sure about that moment. And then Tristan was kind of like, shut up, and punched him while he was on the ground. And Wingate was still mad and talking, but then Tristan did take his back and choke him out. So I mean, it was supposed to be a gentleman's agreement. You know, I'd have to talk. I'm gonna have to talk to Tristan more to find out exactly what was going on there. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, though, in my head, it's like even if it is a gentleman's agreement to only strike, you got to fight. You can't. You don't talk to the ref. Like, don't. You know, if something's not going the way you think it's supposed to go, like, oh, okay, we're fighting then.
Yeah, and even though like he paused and looked at the ref, he was like, "Hey man, do I like he?" It's not like he just as soon as he dropped, he boom boom boom, he stopped for a signal. Hey ref, the ref was like, "Hey, I ain't stopping. I need to keep on fighting." And they say protect yourself at all times.
Yeah,
and that's his. He's like, "Hey," so he went in and handled his business.
Yeah, man. The rules are MMA. That's what it says when they walk out. That's what's on the sheet. That's what the commission has their setup for. The referee does not adjust rules based on your handshake deal in the back.
Yeah.
So if you get out there and someone decides to not go by that handshake, that's on you. But as Mitch was saying, a plum clinch is striking. 1,000%. It's
Right.
one of the core positions of Muay Thai, which is the most diverse striking style in the world. So I don't know where the argument is there.
Yeah, it's not like he, shot in for a takedown when they say, "Hey man, no takedowns, none of that." It's not like he shot in for it. Like,
it looked pretty straightforward to me with regards to even if they agreed to just strike. That's all I saw. And
when it comes to combat night rules, we know no gentleman's agreements are solidified unless you put a ban on it. If you don't put a ban on it, it doesn't count. So
just talking. But hey, Tristan did what he was supposed to do, picked up another pro win, and on to the next. And then
you're gonna talk about that. That one to me was the KO of the night.
Yeah, the lightweight bout between Francisco Sagrado and Timothy Klein. Now, a little backstory that I heard, which Mitch can fill in better. It's Francisco Sagrado, been out of the cage for a number of years, battling a bunch of injuries, and he was coming in facing Timothy Klein. And Timothy Klein, a lot of success as an amateur, undefeated thus far as a pro. The whole, a lot of support there in Jacksonville, where he's from, kind of a local hero. And these guys came out and got to cracking, and it ended with what we're calling the knockout of the night by Francisco Sagrado. Speak on it, Mitch.
Potentially the knockout of the year, if you ask me. That it was an intentional elbow. He did not. It wasn't just some wild threw it out there. No, he intended to come through with that elbow, and it's awesome because Sagrado has been with us for 9 years now. He posted a picture of his first medal he got. Little tiny dinky half dollar thing. Now he's got the big 4 or 5 inch medal, and he's like, man, this speaks volumes to not just me and my growth as a fighter, but looking at these medals, it shows me how much Combat Night has grown and what they've done over the last 9 years. It was incredible to fight on this platform. He showed us a lot of love. The first round I felt like it was a pretty even. I felt like TK edged it out, but it was pretty even. But I could tell he was having a hard time trying to figure out what Francisco was doing. Francisco was very smooth, the stance switches, throwing the spinning techniques, landed a nice head kick. So he was definitely not figuring out the puzzle. But man, you could hear a pin drop whenever TK got knocked out. We've heard it before when TK gets the finish and the room erupts because he's a big fan favorite, local favorite in Jacksonville. And it was almost eerie to hear how quiet it was. And even Francisco, he took it all in and went in the middle of the cage, and amazing moment. This is honestly, I don't know if I'm getting old, I'm getting soft, maybe because of my daughter, but man, I consider Daniel Morrison and Jeremiah both a friend. I love both these guys. I've watched both these guys' journey from really the very beginning. And it didn't hurt to see either one of them lose that night. It didn't hurt to see Jeremiah lose. Did it suck? Yeah, for sure. I watched a guy get one step further from his dream. But I also watched Daniel get one step closer. With TK and Francisco, I never want to see a guy, I don't know, man. I don't like it. hats off to Francisco for landing that big knockout. But man, that one honestly hurt me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt me a little bit.
Just seeing someone get hit like that, or just because you know him previously or outside of the cage?
Yeah, it's the friendship, the knockout. It just like, oh man, it just, I don't know. It doesn't get me all excited anymore.
No, it sucks. Seeing people get hurt sucks. Like, I'm kind of at the point where I don't even like seeing bad knockouts. Like, I like a nice clean finish, but I like when the guy's like, oh damn, you got me, and then can get back to it.
Let's have a look at it while you're
yeah, sure, Ramsey, let me relive it. Told you how upset it made me.
It was so quick.
Run that beautiful footage.
Oof.
It glitched right when he got hit, so I feel okay. What a huge moment for Francisco, though. He's come through so much.
I saw TK in the back. It looked like he broke his hand or his wrist. They had him all wrapped up. Do you know
He did break his hand. He broke his hand as well.
Okay. That elbow looked a little risky on that fall. Oh, that was a bad one. The Jay Boogie fight, like, I just caught him afterwards. I knew him from I coached his cousin.
Yo, Ben.
Yeah.
Don't be getting ahead of us, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Come on, man.
Being comparative. I apologize.
So we'll move on from that one.
Thank you.
I was trying.
The fight before that was Alexander Trauber and Ricky the Chihuahua Chiepa, who put on a fantastic performance and also brought the loudest mouth in Duval with him.
I was thinking the same thing. Anytime Ricky fights, you're going to hear his girl there too.
I'm thinking that's got to motivate him. Like, the quicker I get out of here, the quicker this stops.
Dude, I got to be honest. Rewatching it on the drive home, luckily I wasn't the driver, was the first time I ever really recognized her voice, like, from the outside. Maybe it's the headphones.
You got supreme tune-out skills.
I'm pretty good, but I figure it's the headphones. But I've never heard that shriek before. Like, I've never.
Gotta get your hearing checked, Ben.
The other side of the audience started yelling back, just like bird sounds.
But beautiful performance from Ricky. The pressure, there is no quit, there is no chill, there is no stop in Ricky Chiepa. He got put in some bad positions early on, and man, he's always working to improve position, always working to get to a dominant position. A lot of guys have bad habits in taking rest whenever they're in a bad spot, and Ricky ain't that guy. He is not chilling or resting when he's in a bad position.
Yeah, Angel was saying he might need to change his fight name to the Pitbull or something. He got to upgrade that dog status.
Dude, he is all gas at all times. But that's the majesty of 125, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not supposed to get tired when you're that light.
Yeah. But with that work rate, how could you not?
I mean, maybe Sierra can be the Chihuahua. He can be the Pitbull.
That's what I was saying in the booth. I was like, her nickname should be a Chihuahua, and he needs to change. They should swap. He could be the Kruger, and she could be the Chihuahua.
He's a nightmare for anybody that gets in there with him.
Yeah, because he don't really talk much. He quiet. He go in there. He handle his business, just like Freddy Krueger. He gonna come at you, and he gonna get you eventually. Like, so I said, Ricky needs to be the Kruger. Like,
we should take a poll for new nicknames for him. We can definitely pass the Chihuahua down. That one holds. But I could even see him being a honey badger.
Yeah.
Yeah, super tenacious. Oh, in the chat they said Tasmanian Devil.
Mm-hmm.
The fight before that was another featherweight bout. Elijah Harris and Javier Ames. Javier Ames winning, El Misil winning by submission. And I have a question mark next to it. And do you recall what that type of submission that was, or exactly what the ending was? Because it seemed like it was a little funny. Maybe I'll pull it up.
I believe it was a Dars.
They're the black belts. I just choke people. I don't do all that other stuff. And the baseball choke that I was taught 10 years ago. Those are my two.
Don't speak so negatively about your skills, Miles.
Those are, ask anybody in the gym. I do the baseball choke you taught me 10 years ago, and the rear naked. And that's all I got.
That's all you need, baby.
See if I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I believe it was a Darce. This fight was a short notice put together fight. Javier's been itching to get back in there. Elijah drove 14 hours down to fight him. Javier, a little bit of striking, took it to the ground and locked up. He has a really good Darce. And, you know, it's very hard to escape. He's another guy that I train with. And he puts you in that Darce. Good luck.
Yeah, it definitely seems like from start to finish, he knew what the game plan was, get things, you know, down to the ground and then handle business from there. And he definitely was, you know, moving back and forth. I like it when you see guys, when you see fighters in there, you know, they go, you know, all right, do I want to do ground and pound? Do I want to do, you know, submissions? They're constantly searching and reaching for the finish there. They're not just, you know, take them down and then just, you know, just waiting, you know, especially when the referee, Isaiah Cabal, whoever's in there, is like, all right, come on, guys, work. All right, come on, guys, work. If the referee has to keep on telling you, hey, come on, guys, work, that means you're not working. Like, not one time was there, you know, a break in action there where the referee had to tell, you know, Javier, hey, you know, come on, guys, let's keep it going.
Yeah, that's one of the things you can't teach is grit and tenacity, or the ability to recognize opportunity and take advantage of it without overthinking it. Like those things, I guess they can develop over time and reps, but some guys get that stuff right off the jump. They're just born in with it. And it's a hard line to overcome.
All right. Pull that down. Keep this party rolling. Congrats to Javier picking up that win over a much more experienced guy. Fight before that, featherweight, Kenny Augusto, Michael Tovar. This Kenny Augusto picking up the win by TKO. Miles, this is one of your teammates.
Yeah, this has definitely been, you know, Kenny's definitely been locked in the gym, and I'm sure Michael Tovar was too. Anytime you got two guys who are coming off of, you know, losses, you know, in their fight career, especially with Kenny starting off his, you know, undefeated 3-0 streak as a professional, and then taking those back-to-back losses, man, in the gym for like the past, I don't know, however many, you know, months, man, he's just been in the gym like, I can't take another, like, it's just do or die. And so you can definitely see, you know, how he's been, you know, locked in there asking me, you know, questions, different, you know, fight-related questions, a whole bunch of, you know, different things like that. You know, how do you do this? Or how did you feel when this happened? Or, you know, what to do here? I've been giving him, you know, all sorts of different kinds of like, you know, tips, and even just something as simple as different workouts and just different things to help his, you know, mindset when it comes to going in here. Because nobody wants to lose, period. But then also too, nobody wants to, you know, lose 3 in a row. Like, so it's definitely, you see there, like he's been working, you know, tremendously, whether it's, you know, strength and endurance, you know, because he is a heavy grappler, he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but then also too working a lot on his boxing with, you know, striking coach over there at the Jungle, Alec Brooks. So just to see everything.
Miles, you gonna talk about his fight? You gonna talk about his fight? Come on, let's talk about the fight, bro. Post-fight wrap up. Let's say how the camp go.
I am, but that leads into the fight of what he's been working on. I know the previous two fights, it had to do with cardio and conditioning. So this fight you saw here, his muscles didn't get tired like they did in the last fight, which caused him, you know, to lose. You saw in there, he went in there, the game plan, he's a black belt. His game plan is, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna ragdoll you. And that's what he did. Yeah, he got rocked a little bit, but he, you know, sparked and jumped right back up in there. He's been doing hella shark tanks and stuff like that, and that just, the work that he put in the camp speaks to, you know, how to fight one. Even when he faced adversity in there and he did get clipped, it happens, but he bounced right back and he finished the guy. Yeah,
for me, this is a matter of fight IQ. Kenny has the better fight IQ. He got dropped by Tovar, and Tovar tried to hop on him like he was a $300 bill on the ground. And all Kenny had to do was literally turn the corner, and the roles were reversed very quick. So being able to keep his wits about him when he got dropped. If you ask me, it was Tovar's fight to give away, and he said, "Here you go, Kenny. I'm gonna go in your wheelhouse. I know you're amazing on the ground. I'm gonna even though I just dropped you on the feet, let me go to your wheelhouse real quick." I think Tovar was a little too anxious there, got a little too excited, and Kenny, props to him in his training, never quit, never die mentality, turned the corner and switched the roles really quick and pounded him out. Some guys find ways to win, like Kenny Augusto. Some guys find ways to lose, like Tovar, and they happen to fight each other on that night.
All right, and then we kicked off the pro card with an absolute banger, Tyler Stout versus Jason Borges at 125 pounds, and Tyler Stout came out and put on a show, dropping hammers on Jason Borges, and incredible toughness shown from Jason Borges as he was trying to get it figured out, and the pressure from Tyler Stout just was relentless, and he was not about giving him the time to figure out anything, and those punches just added up despite all that toughness and got the KO.
This is another fight. Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
I was just saying that was a hell of a fight, especially for guys so early on in their career. Like we are lucky to know them as amateurs and the kind of fighters they are. And they are top-notch guys, like very, very good. I speak very highly of Jay Burgess. I think I said he's like the next Demetrius Johnson. But, man, No Smoke was all over him. His right hand was laser sharp. It did not miss, and it packed power. Every time he hit Burgess, Burgess was falling back, knocked off balance, or rocked. I don't know what No Smoke been doing in camp, but keep doing that. It is working for you, because Burgess is, again, an excellent fighter. He was a fantastic amateur. And whatever Tyler did, just shut him down.
Yeah, from the very start of that fight to the end, Tyler Stott was all over him, man, just picking him to pieces, picking him apart. And truthfully, it wasn't until that Jason Borges where he started, like, he hit Tyler with one good punch, and then like that already where I thought Tyler was already at the top of his game, man. Once Jason hit him one good time, Tyler went, "Oh, word," and then that was just the hook, the elbow into the hook, and he just was like, "All right, that's it. I'm done playing with you. I need to finish him." Because he pretty much could have finished him early on in that fight. But once Jason came and was like, I don't know what his corner said to him, but Jason hit him with a left hook, and then Tyler was like, all right, now I got to put you out.
Yeah, this is another one of those fights that really upset me, just to be honest. Don't like seeing guys get knocked out like that, especially in their pro debut. And, there's no surprise. I've trained with both of these guys. They're both very high-level athletes. This was the fight of the night for me. And I feel like Tyler came in there and really implemented his game plan. Jason did not fight how Jason fights. He's a movement guy, and he came in the very beginning of the fight, and they tried to sit down on some punches and exchange with Tyler. Tyler's he's a Muay Thai guy. He comes out of, used to do with Dom Fairtex. Now he's at Two Brothers Muay Thai. Clearly, this guy likes to strike. He likes to bang. He likes to thump. I don't know of a fight where Tyler won't sit in the pocket with somebody. So he went right into his game plan, and almost as soon as the first bell started, Jason got hit with something pretty solid. I think it was might have been a hook cross, and you could just see it. None of Jason's punches or kicks had any pop on him. It was almost like he was afraid to really sit down on anything. His movement, his movement was trash, and it's like, just goes to show you, man, one punch can really change everything in a fight. And he did come out in the second round, like, rejuvenated, and looked like he was, putting stuff together really well. And like Miles said, Tyler Stout was like, "Nah, buddy, we ain't doing this today," and set him down with some nice shots, and I think he put the whole 25 division on notice.
He really did. And he took every shot from Burgess, and it barely even turned his jaw.
It didn't phase him at all.
Man, he looked like a juggernaut.
Yeah, he did. Like you said, it looked like he was just a little bit in like slow motion after that initial heavy shot that landed early. And I always enjoyed having Tyler compete with us as an amateur. Glad to have him over with us as a pro. consummate professional. I know he's one of those guys that has traveled a lot during his amateur career and stuff, and I think that that type of lifestyle as an amateur contributes to success as a pro. So looking forward to having him back. Whenever you said that was another one that hurt you, Mitch, I almost took it as a cue to pull it up, but we'll keep moving.
Thank you. I do want to see him and Ricky Chiappa in the future.
Okay.
Man, we had some talk in the comments a little bit ago.
Was that his coach?
No, it was Alex's coach, I believe, who was saying he thought it would be a good fight for Traubert and Tyler Stout.
Yeah, maybe we can make that fight happen. I like Traubert. He really did put on. His striking was on point, and I think him and Tyler meet in the middle and throw down. That'd be a fun fight.
Hey, well, you heard it here
Luis
first.
Perez calling out Ricky.
They matchmaking in the comments.
Yeah.
All right. Our main event on the amateur undercard was a bantamweight bout between Ruben Baez and Leo the Lion Figueroa. That was a fantastic fight. Ruben came out really game, and Leonardo just looked so crispy with his striking. He looked fast as lightning. And Mitch, why don't you start us on this one?
You know, I just found out Ruben's 19 years old, so that's crazy. He got a beard of a man. He got a beard. Probably had the best beard in the building last night. And you know, I think had he been a little more active on the ground with his striking and did some damage, I think this fight could have easily went the other way. I think it was a pretty closely contested fight. Leo, in my opinion, clearly won the fight, but Ruben had moments where he could have done more, and it could have swayed the judges. You know, some of his takedowns, he was just holding on and just making sure that Leo couldn't get up. There are two ways to keep somebody on the ground, and the quicker fighters understand this, and the quicker they choose, the better of the two options, the more successful they're going to be. They can hold them for dear life and make sure they don't get back up, or they can posture and rain down strikes and punish them. Look at Daniel Morrison versus Jeremiah McDougal. Daniel Morrison was sent elbows, striking. When he had to go back to the takedown to re-get him back down, he did, and he came right back to striking. You know, that's the experience there, and I think Ruben will end up finding that in the future. But amazing title fight, amazing performance from these guys. That's the kind of fight that I could watch all day.
Yeah, Ruben had great success in the first. Got his takedowns, got on top, maintained him. But in the second, I don't know what they told Leo in the corner, or if he was just like, oh, okay, he can hold me down, but he can't do anything to me, because he opened up in the second. Leo's left straight was perfect at every point in time. And certainly that karate style where he shoots it from the chest makes it a little harder to recognize because we're all so used to the hands being so high. But, man, he did not miss. That left hand hit Ruben's beard 35, 45 times, and it looked like Ruben didn't even see it. You know, in the back, Ruben was talking about how upset he was for staying, like, dead in front of the man the whole time, but he just couldn't get out from it. Leo's foot adjustments were great. It kept Ruben right in front of him, and again, whenever he pulled the trigger, he had great success.
But I think also, too, there's a lot of upside for, like we mentioned before. It wasn't until after I read the scorecards where I heard, like you said, that he's only 19 years old. So it's like there's tons of upside here for a guy like Ruben Baez, man. So he definitely has nothing to, hold his head, down about. I'm sure him and his coaches, those guys over at the Treasure Coach Cartel, they're going to look at it, and then he'll be, right back on, the next card.
For sure. Our undercard co-main event was Livens Dorval and Mike Anderson after one of the most ridiculous weigh-in sets of logic that I've ever heard. Mike Anderson came out hot and rocked Livens early, but Livens got that get back and ended up getting a TKO finish over Mike. What'd you think of that, Miles?
Yeah, I was just laughing at it feels like every time there's a weigh-in Livens, like he does, I don't know. Does he do this on purpose? Like, is he like one of those guys that like tries to troll, like try to stir up controversy, or is he really like that? I don't want to say dumb and disrespect the man. like on at one gym, he steps on the mat with his shoes on. At this gym, I hate it when a dude misses weight. You can't talk crap. Once you miss weight, that's it. I'm sorry. Dude. I appreciate it if you still take the fight. That's it. The dude is a clown. Like, that's all I got. Like, I don't supposed to be biased as the ring announcer commentator, but it's just like every event. I don't know if it's just for showmanship or this is really how the dude is. Like,
no, that's really how he is.
Like,
man, look at the comments, bro. I was asking, like, is he the most disliked guy in Florida MMA? And here's the thing: it to me it looks like he is, but his interaction rate on the posts that he's in are massive. So is he a genius marketer as well as a bit of a jerk? Maybe.
Now imagine this: I get to listen to him and Luis Perez argue with each other. Another guy that I would say is arguably one of the most hated people, but at least he's doing it on purpose.
I like Luis because Luis he's a complete fighter. I feel as though he takes it seriously. I feel like he's probably in the gym, doing 2-a-days, and maybe one of those guys come in straight after work and stuff like that. Does all the jiu-jitsu, the grappling, the striking classes, takes it seriously. A guy like Livens, I don't know him personally, but I feel like he's just a guy I can just put fighter in my bio. Like I don't know.
I like Luis as well, but as far as people outside of Lewis's, with Combat Night, I think the whole Combat Night crew likes Luis. But outside of that, nobody likes Luis. So I get to listen to Luis Perez, the smallest guy in the gym, argue with Livens, one of the biggest guys in the gym. But yes, Luis does do everything right. He does make weight. He's a professional. He's on point, and he is doing it to like troll and be that guy. Where Livens that's just Livens, and he knows that's who he is. He don't even care. But
yeah, Luis is quick-witted. There's no way that Livens can out-argue. He's just talking. There's no way that he can out-argue Luis.
But it's hilarious to listen to them impersonate each other's voices. You got a Haitian.
It'll probably be hilarious. Like, in that gym. This would be a fly on the wall and hearing, like, just.
Yo, it's hilarious. It's ridiculous to listen to them two argue. I don't think they really don't like each other, and they literally just talk cash shit on each other, back and forth. They impersonate each other's voices. So you have Lewis's like. It's just you can't make this shit up.
How do they know? It don't seem like English is either one of their first language. So how are they impersonating each other?
That's why it's so funny, bro.
Better. You need to record that the next time. Make a reel out of it.
I think I have some videos of them arguing. I do.
Fantastic.
Well,
but
I'll share.
Now, hold on. This is he's done 205 twice. He's missed by 7 and 8 pounds. So are you just gonna you're a heavyweight guy now?
He's got to be a heavyweight guy now. He ended up cutting weight with us at the Airbnb and missing by a pound. He still missed by a pound. But, yeah, he's a heavyweight now.
All right, good.
All right, we will move it right along. Yeah.
Yep. No, you're good. Just move it. Advanced
Muay Thai bout at 135, Travis Barnard. Or it was slated as advanced, but then they came out and didn't have elbow pads. I don't know what the situation was that got changed. But Travis Barnard and Douglas Pettyjohn. Travis picking up the unanimous decision win. Thoughts?
Great fight. Go for it, Mitchell.
I had to come back and watch this fight. I know there were some discrepancies about the other guy thinking he won. So I got to go back and watch this fight. I had the pro fight card was getting ready to fighters meeting, so I was back there handling that. So I missed it.
Yeah, for anybody who has problems with the judges' scorecards, go talk to the judges. Don't come ask me. I just read what they give me. Okay, I say red corner or blue corner. All right, what? I was like, go talk to the judges. Don't come up. That's all I got to say. All right.
Man, it was a very distinct clash of styles. Pettyjohn was clearly like a clinch-based fighter, a Muay Thai guy. His knees were super good. His clinching was good, but very old school, clinch fighter, reaching outright. Just I'm not even trying to punch with you at all. I'm gonna throw a couple kicks and then I'm just gonna dive in and try to reel you into a tie-up. Bernard, however, was kind of the antithesis. He was very much get off of me and throwing hammers. He had really strong hands. His 2-3s and overhands were landing consistently. His kicks were good, but both guys had their distinct area they were focusing on. Pettyjohn hurt him early with a knee to the body in the first round, but he couldn't keep it up. And Bernard almost like took that damage and was like, now I have to give it back to you. And he just got progressively more aggressive and more successful as the fight went on.
All right. We will move on from there. Elizabeth Gonzalez and Destiny Perez. Destiny Perez picking up the unanimous decision, taking her amateur MMA record to 2-0 after a dynamic finish in her first fight. But this one, she picked up the decision. That was a pretty hard-fought contest. What do you guys think? We'll go around the horn. Miles.
Yeah, I think I was just, just calling for, especially for the last time we saw Destiny Perez, just hands in boxing. I think when she takes a step back and looks at this fight, I think she's been like, why did I even try to shoot in, for the takedown, allow her to get that close to me. She needed to land a single kick, a takedown, nothing, just hands. Bam, 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 bam. Simple 1-2, 1-2, 1-1-2, 1-1-2, overhand, because the girl was a little bit taller than her. Because every time the Destiny came forward, all the girl did was, she backed up and tried to engage in the clinch, and tie her up. And she threw so many different, in that round there, so many different submission attempts from the bottom. So after that, if I'm Destiny, I'm like, let me stay on my range and I'll knock your ass out like she did in her previous fight when we saw her.
I really like the way Destiny fought this fight. I think too often amateurs stay in their wheelhouse and they don't venture off and try to, work on the game that they need to work on. And I think that's exactly what Destiny did here. Yeah, she was beating her up on her feet. This girl's name is Ellie Jiu-Jitsu. You know what I mean? I don't know about y'all, but I love whenever I watch a fighter beat someone at their game, whether it's a boxer doing kickboxing or it's a striker going to the ground and taking somebody down and beating him up on the ground. Like when Leon Edwards takes down Kamaru Usman, I'm like, oh yeah, like let's go. It gets me excited. So I was very happy. She defended all the takedowns, all the submission attempts very well. Was punishing her on the ground. She was allowing her opponent to do jiu-jitsu, and she was doing the striking and jiu-jitsu. So I think that's going to pay off for her in the long run. I think she's going to be able to see a lot of mistakes that she made and things that opened up her opponent to be able to hit these submissions. And she's going to have a lot to work on her ground game, and it's going to pay off for her in the long run.
Ben?
Oh, I was just waiting my turn.
Yeah, go for it.
Man, everything's pretty much been said. Perez has that power in her hands, and you saw it in her first fight. But she did diversify, and she did so on purpose. She knew her opponent had good jiu-jitsu, and she took it into her area. Maybe that's what she's been working on in the gym. Maybe that's what she thought people might think she was lacking in and wanted to let them know that she wasn't. But she performed very well. She fought a safe fight. She fought a smart fight. She did damage when she had the opportunity, and she took control of it. She performed very, very well.
Yeah, I think Mitchell makes a good point whenever you talk about switching up, doing what you're not as good at. When you're an amateur, super important to do that. If you have those types of aspirations of taking it to pro and moving on beyond that. So that's a good point that you made. Fight before that, Nigel Droughty and Bam McMillan. That was one that was
Uncle versus the nephew.
Yeah, that was Unc versus Neff, and Bam was there and doing his thing and having some success with it. That was the 19-year-old, I believe. Yeah,
versus the 33-year-old.
Versus the 33-year-old, and it had kind of a controversial ending as Bam was going for a big takedown. Maybe I think would have been the first takedown that he would have secured in the fight, and there was just an egregious fence grab that totally took the takedown away, and then he ended up on bottom and bing, bing, bing. That's the way it went. But I hated to see that position not be achieved by him because of something like a fence grab, and nothing was really done about
it. The referee took a point, but
That's
because
right.
Bam got the takedown, he didn't break the action.
And then it was reversed. So it did land the takedown, but Nigel reversed him like 3 to 4 seconds after. And then also the point didn't matter anymore. So he didn't even tell the judges to take the point, but he held the hand up for 1 point to be taken. But because, like Ben said, he had the position, he didn't take the position, and then he got reversed, and the reversal had nothing to do with the takedown. So he couldn't stop it there.
Yeah. Man, I was kind of surprised. Like, Bam, when he decided to fire, actually had good success, but he just stayed on the back step so much and just allowed Nyjah to kind of dictate what was going to happen. Maybe it's because Nyjah was quite wild. He was literally jumping across the cage, arm fully outstretched, flailing with his chin in the air. Rams and I were taken aback, like, when it started. We're like, what's going on? This guy's 3-1, you know? But I could also see that wildness putting a guy on his heels, kind of like, I don't know exactly what to do with this. So they kind of might get stuck in their head and not pull the trigger.
Miles, do you have anything to say about that before we move on?
No, I was about to say, is this his first time fighting for Combat Night? I know when Ben mentioned, yeah, okay, yeah. So when it comes, you know, to fighting with Combat Night, that style, you know, just the wild and crazy and that, you know, all over the place. I know he was doesn't really train at any one given gym, but the more fights that you have with Combat Night going up against, you know, tougher opponents and stuff like that, he's definitely gonna have to, you know, rein it in a little bit more and like just figure out, you know, what kind of fighter he is. Because at 19, he's probably just like, I watch UFC, I want to make it to UFC, and I just want, you know, go in there and just sling and bang. But you know, the higher up that you're going and the tougher opponents that you face, you're definitely gonna figure out, you know, what is your style though. But definitely lots of upside from him. He's young, athletic, you know, just has to find a gym and some, you know, good coaches that he can listen to really shape his game.
He was actually in the comments a little earlier in the show when some of the Kaizen guys were talking. He said he might swing by there now.
Cool. The fight before that, we had a Muay Thai bout from the ladies, Thea Tsao and Miriam Esaki. Can't say enough about the former WWE TNA superstar Thea Tsao, 39 years old, wanting to realize her aspirations of a martial arts career, and Miriam Esaki, Mimi, 40 years old, and she came in as a ex-pro Spartan champion. These ladies were insanely fit and were all gas. And Thea, am I saying that right, Ben?
I believe my wife told me to be like Zaya,
excuse me.
Yeah,
Zaya. She came out with some crazy spinning back fists and stuff. That was a super exciting fight.
And that is just how she fought. It's how she trains and how she spars. Like she loves that spinning back fist. Like, so I knew leading up to this fight that, you know, she was gonna do. I was just telling hey, Zaya, just make sure, you know, be a little bit more calculated with it. Don't just keep on just spamming it because the right, you know, person could just time it or whatever. But she was, yeah, okay. And she just went there and she just, you know,
spammed it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but it was glad to finally, you know, see her fight, because I know for her it's frustrating when she was supposed to fight like maybe like 2-3 years ago, like at Guilt, when she was still, you know, technically with the WWE, and they got in there and they said,
Yep.
So I know ever since that she parted ways with them, she's been like, every time there's a Combat Night in Orlando, she's like, put my name in. I like, coach, put my name in. Did they find me a pony yet? Did they find me a pony yet? Like, so I know she's definitely been, you know, eager to, you know, this long-awaited, you know, kickboxing debut for her. And I know many people were just like, well, you know, she did that fake stuff or whatever. But when she came in there, she was like, no, yeah, May did the fake stuff, but I can do real stuff too. She definitely, you know, yeah, right.
Man, she was wild, dude. But she was swinging with power. Both of those ladies were jacked up. You know, Miriam brought a lot to the table in there as well. She seemed to get a little timid in the second after Zai had landed some of her big overhands. You could see her eyes swelling up, and when Zai would start to throw, she would flinch and kind of brace for impact. You know, and I think the power of Zhao just overtook her.
All right. Mitch, do you want to add anything on that one?
I know there's a little controversy on that one as well. I know the coaches of the other girl felt like they didn't lose that fight, but I thought it was a pretty unanimous, solid decision that she had lost.
Yeah, it was a good contest and super entertaining.
She went for an armbar. I can't wait to make that real.
The fight prior to that was a flyweight bout between Javarius Shields and Calvin McFarland. Javarius came out looking like a wrestler himself. I was super surprised at the end whenever Miles asked him what his background was, and he was like, "Nah, I didn't play any sports."
Like, you wrestled in high school, dude. She was like, "No, just football." Like,
hey, he hit some crazy slams in that fight. And, you know, that was a couple of guys making their debut, so we didn't know what exactly to expect from them coming in. But we certainly know what to expect from Javarius Shields moving forward.
Man, Javarius Shields really impressed me. I didn't realize that was his debut. He looked excellent. His striking was really sharp. His defenses were pretty set. McFarland had a really good first round, bloodying Shields' nose up and doing some damage, actually rocking him at one point with a solid 3-piece. But outside of that moment of danger, Shields owned that fight. Massive takedowns, huge slams, a belly-to-back suplex with which he maintained control, which if you've ever thrown an overhead suplex is difficult to do. He looked fantastic. I'm a fan, dude. Javarius Shields, I'm excited to see him fight again.
Yeah, I'll say also Calvin McFarland actually came out with some incredible striking in the first round. Really styling, you know, he had a lot of confidence in the first round, and you know, Javarius Shields just weathered the storm and got into the clinching and grappling exchanges, which he had some success at. Certainly had some success at the ground and pound, but synced up that rear naked choke to get the win.
Yeah, both of those guys, it definitely didn't look like this was their debut. Like,
yeah, McFarland's striking was really clean, but he looked like a fish out of water a bit on the ground. He had no answer for Shields.
Jamali?
I mean, yeah, like you guys already said it all. It was a great fight. The highlight of the fight for me, aside from the slams, was him kicking a drink. Like,
that's everywhere.
They asked him if he wanted a drink. He was like, sure. They're like, all right, kick in the air and then pop open your drink and enjoy. And he said, kick the drink. They said, no, kick in the air and then drink your drink. And he said, okay, threw it in the air and kicked it.
And it's sprayed everywhere. It hit the production table and everything. And I was like, I know we doing something for the gram, but goddamn.
That turned and I felt a whole bunch of this water on my I was like, what the, like, was that sweating? And I looked like, oh, they kicking the cans. Like,
all right. The bout before that, featherweight bout, Jaime Navarrete and Logan Alvarado. Jaime picking up the win via head and arm choke. Who wants to go first?
I think Logan was asleep a little bit before we realized. I think he was asleep before the crossover. It looked like Jaime had his whole delt like under the neck as he was crossing over. That is a big boy at 145. He looks real powerful. We know he's heavy-handed, and actually, I think he in his 2 MMA fights, he has put both guys to sleep out cold.
Yeah, that guy, he definitely doesn't skip any. He don't skip any days in the gym. That's all I gotta say. When it comes to just a physical, specimen, that is what he is. And when it comes to any professional, sports aspiration that you're trying to be, it's not just working on your skills to strike and jiu-jitsu, but you definitely have to be in the gym, lifting weights, and taking it seriously as well.
Yeah, I was watching the replay of that, but we will keep it moving. Edgar Soto and Kevin Bean. Kevin Bean won via unanimous decision in a kickboxing bout. Yeah, we started the night with a few kickboxing bouts. And what do you guys think of that one?
I think that one right there, definitely both of those gentlemen's like toughest. I think both of them were each other's toughest opponent that either one of them faced. For I think it was just a matter about for Kevin Bean. It was just the clinch. I think the clinch work was just the separator, but that's nothing against Edgar Soto. Man, he kept on. He's a dog. Both of these guys are dogs. He just kept on continuing to come forward, but Kevin Bean still utilized his backwards, movement as he was able to strike. And then when he did want to step forward, and he did kind of like use Edgar's aggression, against him, and that's when he initiated that clinch. To me, that's, if I was a judge, that's where if anything, given the victory there to Kevin, it was the clinch work.
I was in the back for that one, unfortunately. I missed the first 3 fights. I think I showed up for Michael Yelich and
I didn't mean to skip over that one. Michael Yelich versus Nathan Hosenpud. Michael Yelich picking up the win via TKO in his debut.
Do we have any footage of that one?
We do.
I remember it being a very exciting finish.
I'm bringing it. I'm going to pick it up right about the ending sequence.
Man, he straight up knocked him for a loop.
Yeah, this is what Mitch was talking about earlier. When when you take somebody down, don't just lay down there and just hold them. As soon as you take somebody down, either you can go for a submission or you make them pay. You posture up and you finish ground and pound, and that's exactly what he did there.
That's what you got to do, man. There's no option there. That's the job. But it's also one of those hard things to train because you're not really supposed to kill your training partners, right? So how do you get that connection to feel it, because it is all tactile in a way. You have to know the opportunity. So at some point, for the most of us, I was a safer grappler, lots of submissions and, occasional big explosions, but that takes comfort, and you're only going to get comfortable doing it if you're doing it a lot,
So you missed the first couple fights. I'm going to throw the Brock Quality fight on. We'll check it out in a little bit of speed.
Yeah,
he just came
is one of those Combat Night OGs, and he hits hard with those, even with the kickboxing gloves on. So I definitely know as we see individuals who go back and forth, or big gloves, little gloves, and stuff like that, man. Just the power. I'm surprised he doesn't have more MMA knockouts with the little gloves on, because he was definitely delivering a beat in there to Angelo Valero, man.
He was bringing those punches from the backyard.
Yeah, he didn't check out a single kick, because that seemed like that was the game plan there for Valero, right? He was very traditional Muay Thai. He came out with, I'm sure, Ben, what's the thing called that they have on their head? He came out. Yeah, he came out with one of those, so he was very, traditional Muay Thai. Brock was like, man, I don't care about that. This is America. He didn't check out a single kick. He took it. He's bum, 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 bum. Just continue, just pressure forward, man. Anytime Brock steps in, I like watching him throw down. This is, good old-fashioned American MMA.
Yeah, he put on a great performance. Yeah, Brock's in the comments. Good job, man. That was a fantastic performance. Came out there thumping, giving the people what they want to see.
Yeah, you don't need to check kicks if you can, land a straight cross to the person's jaw.
And our first fight of the evening was Quentin Warren and Donnell Langford, which was a weird one. I say weird. It ended up in a draw. It was kickboxing contested at 145 pounds. And both of the guys, they were just going back and forth.
Yeah, it was the third. Donnell was winning 10-9, 10-9, but it was the third round when Quentin knocked him down. So that gave him 10-8.
And evened it out.
So that's what these fighters, you gotta, it ain't over till it's over. Like, don't just think like, oh man, let me just survive. No, you have until that last bell of that third and final round, you know, dings, you have every opportunity to win. Or maybe not sometimes win, but you're not to take the L.
All right, guys, we covered all of the fights from Combat Night Pro Duval last night. Do you have any closing thoughts before I let you return to your families?
I mean, well, they're all asleep. But yeah, I think every time, you know, we get on here, we joke about, you know, which city is the best. And I just think just, man, Florida, the state as just a whole is just, you know, the best when it comes to fights, man. That's all I gotta say. Jacksonville definitely, you know, laid its claim to, you know, wanting to be the best fight city. And, you know, I'm not, if somebody from Duval said, hey man, Jacksonville's the best city, you're always talking about Orlando, I'll be like, all right, go ahead. Yeah, like I ain't gonna argue with you there.
It seems that the best fights just follow the show, which maybe that's a credit to Rich and Mitch. Maybe it's a credit to Florida. Maybe it's the right mixing of things. Mm-hmm. But whatever it is, if you're coming to a Combat Night event, you are going to have an unbelievable night of fights.
Well said. That is a fact. So what I want to do real quick to just wrap things up is give a shout out to a few of our sponsors, which included Sterling Roofing there in Jacksonville. We also had Bluebird Hard Water. They supported us greatly. We were glad to have them on board. And Project Savior Outdoors. If you're not familiar with that, they help veterans and first responders forge community, ignite purpose, and defy darkness through the outdoors. They provide a place where guys come back from combat and they're dealing with, you know, PTSD and all these sorts of things, and just life also. They have a gym and they take them hunting and they do all sorts of cool things with the guys over there. And the founder of that group, Mike Dragich, the actual Florida man, was supposed to fight last night, but he got hurt in training, and so we didn't get to see that. But I'm sure everybody is familiar with the Florida man because you've seen some of his viral videos of him pulling like gators and stuff off the road. Would have been really cool to see him compete.
He needs to fight Chris Mignocci for the title of Florida man.
That's going to be tough for Mignocci.
Might be in different weight classes. I don't know, but the way Mignocci out here tackling people. Like,
do you think the Florida man title has a weight class? There's no weight class in Florida, baby.
It's the longest mullet. Hey guys, well, thanks for joining us. We got a couple of shows coming up. We got June 7th in Orlando, an amateur show. Then we got June 21st in St. Pete, another pro show. And I know that card is stacking up nicely. I look forward to seeing you guys in a couple of weeks in Orlando for Combat Night downtown at the Beecham. And so for all of us here at Combat Night, thanks everybody for joining and hopping on. And thanks for spending the last hour and 20 minutes with us. We really appreciate it. And I see all the fighters in the chat. Thanks for jumping in. We love you guys. Until next time, we'll see you.
See you.
Are you ready for Combat Night?